Look what came in the mail. I don't know if you can see this. It is a letter from the IRS, which means officially my US LLC have been set up, and this letter contains my EIN. So you want to stick with me to the end of the video to know how exactly I got this finally sent to me, officially having my US LLC setup. And if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Francis. I'm a freelancer going on almost a decade. And on this channel, we'll talk about everything freelancing, productivity, and personal finance for freelancers. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. So over the past couple of months, I have been doing an experiment and also bringing you guys on this journey with me of registering my business in the US as a US LLC. And I wanted to do this. I do this with my money and everything so that you can watch over my shoulders and learn to do this for yourself if it's something you're interested in. And maybe you also want to do it for other people who might be freelancers or be interested in legitimizing their business and creating PayPal accounts and Stripe and bank accounts and everything without fear of maybe being blocked or anything. That could still happen, but you just know that you can sleep easy because your business is a legitimate one and you're not opening these accounts through some black hat methods. That's the whole idea. And everything went smoothly. I have the videos all in a playlist and I will leave it in the description if you've not been following through so far. But I want to just give this announcement to say the process is complete. We did it! We did it! And now we're going into the next phase of this entire experiment, which is to create all the accounts, Stripe, and I've actually already started creating the things. I got this quite a while ago, and I've just been experimenting with it. I didn't get too excited to share with you immediately. I just wanted to make sure that this was not a waste of my time before we can proceed with the next phase. And it's been amazing so far, so watch out for these videos that are coming. I want to talk to you about how I got this because a couple of weeks ago, somebody on the channel, I think by the name of Sophia, asked an important question: how come I have not gotten my EIN and it's been months? And I even did a video to respond to that question, and I said, look man, I was upset at the time with busy. I actually messaged them and was like, you told me it's going to be 3 months. It's been a little over 3 months. What's happening? And they sent me the form again and said, look, it's out of our hands now. We sent the whole thing. But if you want us to do the whole process again, fill out your signature on the SS4 form, which is what will allow the IRS to process my EIN and send it to me. Actually, I didn't know I was going to get this sent to me in Nigeria. I thought that it was going to go to Busy and then they're going to update it on my dashboard. Up until this moment, my EIN is not on my dashboard yet. So here's what happened. If you've been following through the experiment, I used my Fly My Mall address as my business address. Anything that's going to come from the IRS, any type of document, will pass through that address. I forgot about this because I wasn't expecting it to come directly to me. I bought some items on Amazon and had it shipped to me, about 3, maybe 4 items. There was a little bit of a mix-up with Fly My Mall. They sent about 2 of them and I reached out to them and said, my items are not complete. What's happening? They were like, oh, I'm sorry. Let's check if it's still in the US or if it's in Nigeria already. And they did sort it out, and it happened. It was in Nigeria, and it was an oversight. They forgot to send the thing. And not long after that, they messaged me again and said, hey, are you expecting another item? And I was like, no, everything is complete. You guys have settled everything that I ordered. It turned out that the item they were asking me about was actually this. And I didn't know because I thought that they were talking about the items that they had made a mistake and not sent completely to me. I did not know that the IRS has actually sent this to Fly My Mall, and that was what they were asking me about. I'm saying that to say, just be careful about this. That's why also you need to use a proper address if you're setting this whole thing up. If you use some PO box or some random address, you may not get your EIN. The whole exercise will just be useless for you. So don't just go and get a random thing. The IRS is getting really serious about making sure that people are not using some random stuff. They will send the thing to your address. They're not even going to use your registered agents or the company you're using to form your LLC. They will send it to the address you said is your business address. And if it's truly your business address, then you should be able to access the thing. So the next phase is I'm going to create my PayPal and Stripe accounts and show you exactly how I go through that process and what works and what doesn't. Keep in mind before we go into this that there are maybe some additional costs to setting up these accounts as we go forward. There are some important things that you might need, stuff like your VPS. You might also need an international number, which are things that you could pay for. But I'm going to do this experiment to try to cut down on the expenses as much as possible. So I'm going to try it without the VPS. VPSs are always recommended, even if you have your EIN and your business registered in the US. I keep saying VPS, you may not know the difference between the VPS and the VPN, and I'm not going to go into all the technical details. But all you need to know is that the VPS is a lot more reliable and more stable than the VPN. However, I'm going to try both of them just so that if you have options, we see if it will work without the VPS so that you save that money. And also I will experiment with using the VPS and see how that works in case you want to go down that route. So maybe you might know the services that will be best for you if that is more your vibe. Another thing that I wanted to point out real quick in this video is that opening bank accounts for your business is not as easy as it used to be. There are services like Mercury and Relay Finance that used to be the go-to for non-US citizens to open bank accounts. But right now they're making it more difficult, even with your EIN, to open these bank accounts. They are requiring more things. They're requiring you to have proof of address. So like the Fly My Mall address I used right now, they could require for me to get a proof of address, like a utility bill or something to prove that I actually have access to this building or where I say my business is. If I do, then I will have to provide utility bills like phone bills and all of that stuff. You know, just like you would do in a proper bank like in Nigeria, if you want to open an account, you provide your address, they'll ask you for utility bills and all of that stuff. You know how it goes. So they're asking for that now, which is making it difficult for non-US citizens, even with your EIN and your LLC, to open the bank accounts. Another thing is, on top of the EIN, the ITIN is also important. Now, you can get around it sometimes. Some financial service providers, PayPal, Stripe, and Relay Finance, Mercury, all these different banks, some may ask and some may make it optional. But I just want to let you know that that is something as well that you might want to get to tighten up your business. The ITIN, although optional sometimes, is actually important and could stop you from having accounts with some of these financial service providers like Relay and Mercury. So that said, I may not be able to test all of them at the moment, but as time goes on, I'm going to definitely show you guys every little thing that you need to know. I'm going to try to get my ITIN and show you guys all the processes or all the steps that you can use to get one for yourself if that is something you're interested in. I'm just going to take this whole experiment step by step, and anything I do, I document and I share with you guys. But for now, just know that the ITIN is important and it could stop you from opening accounts with some financial service providers. Which brings me to the next point, which is that the neobanks that we know and use, and I talk about on the channel a lot here in Nigeria, I don't know for some other countries that may not be Nigeria, you might have neobanks that give access to US bank accounts in your country. Here in Nigeria, some of the popular ones are GigPay, we have Gray, we have Clever, which is one I'm testing right now, and there are some others that I am actually testing just to give you guys options and to see which ones will work with PayPal and Stripe and the rest of them. For now, most of them have not worked with PayPal, but the most reliable one I think is important for you to have, and I'm going to make a dedicated video about that, is to have a Wise business account, not a regular Wise personal account. So with your EIN, you can create a Wise business account and you will get access to really solid US bank account in your name, just like Relay Finance will give to you and Mercury. So don't sweat it too much if you can't access Relay and Mercury. All you really want to do is to get your money into your bank account and to get paid by your international clients and get it into your local bank account. And I think for now, my system will just be Stripe, PayPal, and Wise Business, and then one of the neobanks like GigPay and Gray and the rest of them. This will be my chain. So if I'm collecting payment on my website, for instance, through Stripe and PayPal, I will withdraw out into my Wise account, which is really great because Wise doesn't charge so much when it comes to fees. They are one of the best and will save you a lot of money when it comes to transaction fees. So you don't have to pay too much with double transaction fees on your business. And from Wise into maybe GigPay or Gray, and then from there I can withdraw out into my local bank account. Yes, there's still going to be that friction. There will always be that friction, even if you use Relay and even if you have a proper US bank account, you're still going to have to withdraw to some place where you now send the money into your local bank account. This movement of money will always happen. But I'm just saying all of this to say, you don't have to sweat it too much if you can't open some of these accounts because they require you to have an ITIN or they require you to verify your US address. That doesn't mean that you're going through the process of having your US LLC set up was a waste. It's actually still very valuable, and I'm really excited that I've done this right now and I can do most things legitimately and not going through the back door. So it's absolutely still worth it. Now, the reason why I'm laying all of this down for you is so that before you make the decision to do this, you know all the things, costs that you could incur going into it. So Wise actually costs a little bit to get the business account. Well, there's a free one, but you're limited with the features. You actually pay about $31 to have a Wise business account, and it's a one-time fee. And in my opinion, I think it's worth it. But yeah, those are the things I just want you to know. You might be required to pay that $31 to Wise. You might also be required to pay an extra money if you want to tighten your business and get an ITIN. If you want to use a VPS, to tighten up your security and everything for your business, that could be an extra thing for you to pay. If you want, you will need a US number, and I'll show you exactly how to do that to get a virtual number. And that is something that could also cost you a little bit of money going into it every single year for subscription. So I'm telling you all of this to let you know the EIN is not the end all and be all. There are other things that you can add on to make your business even stronger. Almost all of them are optional, but just to take it a step further and just tighten up everything. It's easy to look at the fact that you've gotten your EIN and now they're asking you for more things, ITIN, which one is VPS again, and all of that. And then you start to think, okay, I don't think this is worth it. Even with all the added expenses that may come in, I still think that it is worth it. And of course, most of them are optional. So you want to subscribe and watch out for the other videos where I'll start to use my EIN to create all the accounts that will now make my business properly legitimized.